Hey, what up, guys? This is Kevin, and I just want to make sure that you guys can hear me. If you guys could just give me a yes. Let me know that you can hear me and see my screen. So, guys, I know today we're going to, it's a holiday this week. A lot of people are going to be traveling, so this is going to be a really quick workshop. We're not going to spend too much time. I just want to show you guys some a process, a system that I use for, managing your social media. So I'm going to show you two killer tools that I use, actually three killer tools that I use, and how I use them together to, manage my social media. So the first tool that you're looking at, and this is something that you want to sign up for right away, excuse me, which is Feedly, okay? Feedly. So if you go to feedly.com, Feedly, you want to use this, especially if up until now you have been using Google Reader. Google Reader is going to be done. I mean, they're going to be all over in a few days. I think we have 5 days. Actually, I think it's July 1st. As of July 1st, Google Reader will no longer be working. Now, if you don't know, an RSS reader is nothing more than a news feed. So just like you go to Facebook and you have a news feed and it's all your friends' posts in one feed, that's what Feedly is. Feedly is all of your posts coming in to one feed. Now, where did the post come from? Instead of it being friends like Facebook, instead it is all the blogs that you subscribe to. So in other workshops, I've showed you, here's how to go and find the top blogs, right? Whether it be using topsy.com or technorati.com. And, I could show you other ways to find killer blogs. So you want to find those blogs, subscribe to them, and then you do it using Feedly. Now, the cool thing about Feedly is if you use Chrome and you install the Feedly, right? If I come over here, you see this little Feedly app. You go to the extension store, you go to the Google Chrome store, and you search for Feedly. You install it. What that does is, let's say I come over to, HubSpot.com, right? What'll happen is in the right bottom corner, actually, it has to be a blog. So if we go to the blog, usually what'll happen is in the right bottom corner, you'll see like a little icon. Now, it's not going to do it for HubSpot. I don't want to spend too much time on this, but usually you'll see a little icon. If there's an RSS feed that you could subscribe to, there's a little icon where you could subscribe to Feedly right from there. Or you just grab the RSS feed, okay? So you would click on this RSS feed, you click on that, and you grab the feed from here, okay? So you would grab the feed, you would copy it, so you can see there's the reminder Google Reader is going to expire. Then you come back to Feedly, and then what you do is you go to add content, okay? And then, you go to, let me see here. You come over here and you go to my Feedly, and you know what? I've never done it manually because usually I use the button, but it's somewhere over here. I think you go over here. I've done it before. It's the weekend, so they have everything kind of. They have a new layout for the weekend. It's the brightest, the best of the weekend. But you just find your thing, and then you add it somewhere. Guys, I can't find it right now. But what you do is you simply just subscribe to your RSS feeds, and it'll show up in here. And then what you do is from here, you can either share directly to whatever social media site you want to share it to. So you could share it to Google+, you could share it to Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook, or this is what I use right here, Buffer app. Now, Buffer app is this right here. So if you go to bufferapp.com, what Buffer is a tool that allows you to connect your Twitter account, your Facebook account, your Facebook pages. And what happens is you will be able to sync up your accounts. And then what you do is as you go and you click on the Buffer app. So if I come to Feedly and I find a killer post. So let's say I like this, social customer and the quest for better margins. I'll look at the post, I'll consume the content. And if I think it's good, if it passed the test, you got to make sure that anything that you're putting out there has your endorsement. You believe it's something that people in your tribe should take the time to, out of their day, to consume that content, okay? So make sure that you actually spend time and consume the content. If you think it's something that's worth sharing, you can come over here to the Buffer app, right? Click on Buffer. You're going to get a pop-up. Now, unlike if you share it on Twitter, it's going to go out right now. Instead, it's going to go to Buffer, and it gets put into like a waiting list, okay, into a queue. Now, I'll show you how to set up the Buffer schedule, but you could set up a schedule so that the posts only go out at certain times throughout the day. You could even do it in a unique way, which I'll be showing you. Now, when it comes to this is the way it's going to look when it goes out. That's the natural look. What I always like to do is I like to put the cursor at the beginning of it, and in brackets. If you look at my feed on Twitter, you'll notice that at the beginning of every tweet, what do? I have brackets, and then I point something out. Killer info on Google Plus, or something that must consume content. I'll always put my notes, right? Why I think you should take the time to read this article or consume that content. So that's what I like to do. So this way you're adding your touch to it, right? You're speaking to your tribe. While it's other people's content, you're speaking to the tribe. Now, here's why you want to do this. A lot of people might wonder, why would I spend so much time sharing other people's content, right? Why am I going to share all my time sending traffic to another website? Number one, the reason you want to do it is because it gets your tribe to trust you, right? It shows your tribe that you have your finger on the pulse of your market, okay? You know what's good, you know what's bad, and you're saving them time by telling them exactly what to go consume, and you're telling them, here's the best stuff right here, right? So you've taken all the time that they would have wasted on cheesy stuff, and you're telling them, here's the best stuff right here. That's number one. Number two, using the analytics from this tool and the next tool that I'm going to show you. If we come to the analytics, we can look at what days the content gets a lot of posts. We can take a look at the number of clicks. Now, this is just from the Feedly posts, okay? You could see how many clicks. Now, Twitter does not work like most sites where, you put it out and it's there forever. I think the half-life of a tweet is like 30 seconds. So it's seen by people for 30 seconds after you put it out, and then that's it. It's not seen anymore. And the reason is there's just so many people tweeting. Everybody's connected to so many people that stream just, it just gets drowned out really quickly, which is why you'll notice when it comes to scheduling for Twitter, you'll notice that I post a lot more times when it comes to Twitter. You can see you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 tweets that go out per day. You could easily go up to 10 tweets per day, and you wouldn't be annoying anyone. Because, again, every 30 seconds to a minute, you're going to be hitting a different crowd, a completely different audience. So it doesn't, you're not going to be annoying anyone. Now, let's come back to the analytics, and I'll get into scheduling in a second. So when we look at the analytics, right, we can take a look, and we just take a look at the clicks, and then we can see this right here. So how to leverage science of relationships to gain true influence. So we could take a look at that and say, wow, that got 70 clicks. That one tweet got 70 clicks. Whereas, a lot of the other ones get, 7, 15, whatever. And then you can see 24 clicks. That's not bad. Google Plus, that got some decent tweets. Then we come down, we can see 36 clicks. This is on how a lone self-publisher built a profitable business around a single ebook. And what we're doing is we're able to pinpoint what topics are hot with your market. Does that make sense? And this is just for Twitter. So we can instantly see, okay, every time I talk about blogging, every time I talk about self-publishing ebooks, every time I talk about Google Plus, those are the things that get the most clicks. Now, when it comes time to you taking the time to create content, what are you going to create content about? You now know. You now know exactly what your market wants to know and what they will eat up like nothing else, okay? You can see here that this one, 48 clicks, not bad, right? This was one that was actually funny. I didn't come up with the title, Pee Your Pants, but it's actually 14 advertising fails. Now, stuff like this, if you're in the marketing niche, is a home run, right? This is the kind of stuff. It got a lot of clicks on LinkedIn also, which I'll show you. This is just the analytics for Twitter. But basically, you have like Pizza Hut and then a sign that says, we have pizza. I mean, kind of obvious, right? And then this sign, always open, and then they have a sign that says closed. Or this one, strawberry lemonade forever, available for a limited time. So these are the type of things that you could share. If you can ever find something that is on point, it's relevant to your niche, to your market, but it's funny. I mean, it's the best thing that you can share, because most people, what do? They share funny stuff, right? The baby, laughing in the back seat, or the cat playing with the parakeet, whatever. If it's funny, usually that's going to get shared. But if you can keep it relevant to your market, all the better. So that's stuff that I like to share. Now, you could see one post over here got a lot of clicks, 145 clicks. Now, think about that. 145 clicks in again, the life of a tweet is about 30 seconds. So in in that couple of minutes, 145 clicks. And you could see that it got retweeted twice. So, there's ones that got retweeted 4 times and only got 8 clicks. You see that? A lot of people, they retweet stuff, but sometimes they retweet it and it gets you exposure. Even if a lot of people don't click it, it's still getting you exposure, your name, your brand out there. But I mean, 145 clicks, that's a lot. And look at that title. Great title. How to write a blog post, and then in parentheses, for people who hate to write. That is a killer post. So right there, wow, that's something that I can talk about. That's a type of, not only can you talk about how to write a blog post for people that hate to write, but you also want to swipe the headline. How is it structured? Even if you're going to be doing a post for Facebook, you could use the same structure when it comes to writing the title of that blog post, i.e., how to use Facebook fan pages in parentheses, even if you've never created a page yourself. You follow me? So you turn it into a formula. You take that title and you turn it into a formula, because it's just, it's the contrast between the two, and it just works, right? So now you could do that. So this is why we do this. So when it comes to why do I share other people's content, why should I take the time? Because you're getting the analytics. You're becoming a trusted resource to your tribe, first and foremost, right? If they're clicking on this stuff, they're loving it. And they start to see you as that trusted advisor. They know, wow, that person always puts out killer content. You follow me? So now when you put out a link to your stuff in between, which should be, a minimum 1 out of 10, if not, even more than that, maybe 1 out of 20. When you put out your stuff, because you're seen as that trusted resource, what'll happen is people will click without even thinking twice, because everything you put out is so killer and it's so helpful, they won't even think twice. You follow me? So that's why you want to do it, number 1. Number 2 is for the analytics. We want to see what content gets clicked the most, what content gets retweeted the most, what content gets consumed the most. Number 2, we want to see what times of the day do the clicks get, do things get clicked. So I haven't done this yet, but I'm sure if we go through and I take a look at all the tweets that got, let's say, more than 20 clicks, there's a very good chance that I'm going to find a trend. You know what I mean? I'm going to find the trend, like, oh, when I post at 7 o'clock at night, so you see one here, 41 clicks, 7 p.m. at night. Then you see another one, 40 clicks, 1:36 in the afternoon. Now, usually social media sites, if you had to guesstimate, normally you can guesstimate that between 10 a.m. or maybe 9 a.m. and 1 p.m. is usually going to be the hot spot. Okay, that's pretty much across the board. Whereas on Facebook, it also you'll get a lot of clicks towards the nighttime. Now, does that mean I only share during those times? No. As you see, when it comes to scheduling these posts, I have from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Now, could I add a lot more? Could I do one at 9 p.m.? I actually get a lot of clicks and interaction at 2, 3, 4 in the morning. And the reason you get a lot of interaction at 2, 3, 4 in the morning is because time zones, right? 2, 3, 4 in the morning for me or for you might be 12 o'clock in the afternoon, or the hot spot times for people in different countries, right? Or different time zones. So you want to kind of be all over the place, right? If you're targeting a specific market or a specific location, like only people in Chicago, then you don't have to worry about that, right? You just go with that location's time and that's it. However, this is what you want to do when it comes to Twitter. You want to spread it out. I spread it out every, couple of hours, every 3-4 hours, I put something out there. Now, what Buffer allows you to do, and I hope you guys could do this on the free version. I've upgraded to the $9 a month version. And I'm sure it gives me some additional, additional benefits. But I'm hoping that you guys get this too. If not, it's really worth the $9. The reason I upgraded was, number one, you can add more profiles. And number two, you get more profiles. And then number two, you can put more posts into the queue. So there's a limit on how many posts you can have waiting to go out. And I used to hit that limit. Well, now I upgrade. It's $9 a month. I mean, what's $9 a month? And it helps you out so much. So as you can see, what you can do is you can set up one schedule for every day of the week, right? So every day, these are the times it goes out. Or what you can do is you could say Monday and Friday. You see how Monday and Friday are green? Well, I selected those, okay? Monday and Friday. So Monday and Friday, these are the times it goes out. Then I created another one, okay? So you can add new posting schedule. You click on this. You highlight the days you want it to go out. And then on this day, I only put out 4. And it starts at 5 in the morning, 7 in the morning, 12 p.m., and then 4 p.m. And this way, you're getting different people every day. You're hitting a different crowd. So, like as we know, and I've said many times already, there's going to be you're going to be hitting different audiences pretty much every 10 minutes on Twitter. So if you did it the same time every single day, you're going to continue to hit the same people that come onto Twitter at that time. Whereas if you switch it up, on Tuesday you do these times, on Wednesday you do these times, what'll happen is you'll hit different audiences, and now you're connecting with people all throughout the week. Now, does it stop here? Absolutely not, okay? Absolutely not. This is just the beginning. This is automated. It's not really automated. Well, yeah, the posting is automated, but all you have to do every morning. So this is what you do every morning. You wake up, you come to your feed, and that's it. You just find, 6 or 7, however many the max that goes out per day. You find those posts early in the morning. First thing you do, boom, boom, boom. You find 7 killer posts. Now, not only are you finding killer posts to share with your tribe, you're also keeping yourself so zoned in, and you're going to have your finger on the pulse of the market. You're going to know the hottest things. You're going to know that today, oh, wow, Facebook just came out with hashtags. That's the big deal. That's what everybody's talking about. You'll know that. And you'll only know that because you're going to come here and you're going to be subscribed to the top blogs, and you're going to know what all those blogs are talking about. If you see that all the blogs you're subscribed to are all talking about Facebook hashtags, okay, that's the big thing. And you miss nothing. Now, as I said in the last workshop, one thing that I like to do is not only do I subscribe to the top blogs, but when they source information, let me come over here. So you see over here, 30-day challenge, 8 little changes to your marketing that'll make a big impact. So here's HubSpot running an article on, 8 little changes to changes to your marketing that'll make a big impact. Look at what they do. You've all heard TED Talks, right? Now, most people would just skip right by that. They would just keep on going. What I like to do is I like to click on every single one of those links, because sites like HubSpot, Mashable, and so on, they all like to source data from other studies, other companies' studies. What you want to do is you want to go directly to those sources and subscribe directly to the source. So now, while Mashable might take 2 or 3 weeks to put that information out, that new study, by the time they use that data, it might be 2 weeks from now, it might be 2 months from now. You'll know about it the instant that new study comes out. Does that make sense? So always do that. Let me come back. And then that's how you build up a killer list of RSS feeds that you're subscribed to. So you come over here, and that's it. You just buffer 6 or 7 things. Now, the one site it doesn't buffer, doesn't connect with, and also the other tool I'm about to show you, is Google+. So what I do is 2 or 3 times throughout the day, I will go directly to Google+, and share something, or I'll share it right from here from Feedly. So in the morning, I might hit Google+, and I might share it from here. Or what I do, the third option for Google+, is, let's say I'm looking at this article, and I think this article is really valuable, okay? You'll notice that right here, there's a +1 button, just like everybody's going to have, right? So what you can do is you can +1 it. Now, plus oneing is not the equivalent of sharing on Google Plus. You have to plus one, which is like hitting the like button on Facebook. You then have to leave your mouse there, hovering over the plus one button, come down, and you choose who you want to share it with. Extended circles. You could even X this out and share it in a community that you're a part of, right? So if you've joined communities, see all these communities I'm a part of? Well, actually, those are still my circles right here. Social media strategy, 32,000. Plus your business, social media marketing, 8,400 members. I can share this post directly to a community, all right? Which is really, really powerful because now those are not just people that you're connected to that are following you on Google Plus. That's 30,000 or 10 or 15,000 people that are in a community about your specific topic. Really, really powerful. This is how you do the Google Plus thing. You could do it this way. Now, what if the website you're on or the article you're looking at doesn't have the Google Plus One button? It's easy. All you do is go to the Google Chrome extension, the Google Chrome store. Look for the extension for the Google Plus One button. See the Google Plus One button in my toolbar here? All I got to do is plus one it there. I could plus one it there, and I could do the same thing. I can share it. So now I can share any web page on the internet. I can share it even if there's no plus one button on the actual page, okay? So hopefully that's helpful for you. So just remember to do this, all right? Guys, when it comes down to it, this is your business. If you're in business, you want to build a tribe, you want to be able to provide the best information, this is your job. Your job is to know exactly what's going on in your market, know the hottest trends. You want to be testing stuff before your market even knows it's coming. I mean, this is something that I've done for years. And it's why I was talking about, as some of you know that are on the call today, you guys know that I was talking about doing podcasts last March. A lot of people thought I was nuts. A lot of people thought, that's like such a great idea. That was so 2008. What's the hardest thing today? Doing a podcast, right? You're able to sense these things. And the reason is you stay on top of everything. And when you stay on top of everything, not only will you know what's hot right now and the trends, you're going to be able to get a sense and you're going to feel what's coming, what's going to be hot. And that's when you really got something. So that's how you schedule. So this is just for Twitter, okay? So let's take a look at my LinkedIn. So LinkedIn, I'm not sure why, but it says that my potential reach is only 500. I don't get that, but you can see here the buffer. This is the queue, okay? So it says tomorrow. So I can already see what's going to go out tomorrow at 9:05. If I want, I can even drag and say, no, put this one out at 9:05 a.m. and make this one at 11 a.m. So you can drag and drop, okay? Now, when we come to the analytics, it only says I have 500 potential people. I don't get that because I'm actually connected to, I think, 5,000 people, connections, like, equivalent to friends. But whatever. But you'll notice that my clicks are going up. Even though 19, 8, 7, not a lot of clicks. But look at this one. How to leverage the science and relationships. Remember, this was one of the top clicked on Twitter. You remember that? Put out one tweet and boom, it got like 40-something clicks. Over here, it got another 70 clicks from LinkedIn out of 500 people. I mean, think about that. So now, what does that tell us? That is a home run. That is a topic you want to write down and say, this is something I want to find more content about to share, or this is the content I want to write a blog post about. I should create a free report about that topic. Does that make sense? This is the topic. Number one thing that I know that stops people is, what do I talk about? I don't know what content to create. I don't know what I should create my free report about. This is how you find out, okay? So you can see that all these things, right? How to be a lone self-publisher built. Remember, that was one of the top posts. It's also one of the top posts in LinkedIn. So now, not only was it hot with Twitter, now we see, okay, it's hot on Twitter. It's hot on LinkedIn. This is just an overall, everyone is going to love this topic. Does that make sense? So you want to look at what are the similarities? What was a home run on Twitter, on LinkedIn, and check this out. So the other thing that you're able to do if you upgrade, and I'm not trying to sell you this, I can care, I don't get anything for promoting Buffer app. So this is just me telling you. But if you upgrade for the $9, you can also connect LinkedIn groups. Now, this LinkedIn group, look at the potential reach, 619,000. Now, do all 619,000 see it? No. As always, there's only a certain number of people that are there at the time the post is visible, but it stays visible a little bit longer than on Twitter, right? Whereas Twitter, it's there for 30 seconds, and then 100 tweets come in the next minute, and then it's no longer visible. On LinkedIn groups, takes a lot longer, right? Maybe an hour, maybe a half hour. It depends on how many. Well, with a lot of members like this, it's probably really quick. But you could see over here what gets clicked, right? So 76 clicks. Now, here's why this is powerful. The reason this is powerful is because this is a group with 600,000 members. We get to see, number one, okay, same thing. What topics are great? What topics get a lot of clicks and do well in this specific group? Number two, we get to see what got the most clicks, and we're being seen, number three, and this is actually probably the most important, we're being seen as active in this group. So the group administrator, the community, the actual people in that tribe, in that group, are seeing you as someone who's always active, who's always in there sharing killer stuff, right? If it's getting that many clicks, you know people are liking it. We could see how many comments it got. We could see how many likes it got. So what you want to do is, okay, that's a topic that everybody wants to know about. This is the topic that got the most clicks, the most likes, which means that's what got you the most exposure, right? Because people are liking it, which puts it back at the top. Every time they leave a comment, it gets shown again because now that's considered a quote-unquote hot conversation. Well, now what you can do is create your own post. Now, if you go into these groups and all you do is share your stuff, guess what? Everybody blacklists you, right? They don't want you. You get kicked out of groups. You're seen as a self-promoter. If you do this, you first get to figure out what they like. You get to be seen as a member of the community. My Viralizers Mastermind, one of the first module, which is what was put out up until now, is how to become a Viralizer fan. That's not sexy, and I knew it wasn't sexy, but it's so important because when you're seen as a part of the community, you get this analytics, okay? And this workshop is meant to add to that training. This is how you get the analytics. This is how you figure out what to share. Most importantly, now when you come with your stuff, your topic, your post is going to be right on topic on what they want to see. It's going to get the most exposure. It's going to get the most clicks, shares, everything. And you already been active for so long. They're gonna be happy to comment on your stuff. Does that make sense? So let me take a look. And, okay. So this is what you want to do. Let me open up the thing. Hey, what's up, guys? Okay. All right, awesome. I had the questions closed. Okay, so this is what we do. Now, again, so we could see the similarities. Look at this one. Remember the one that was popular on the last one, guys? How to write a blog post? For people who hate to write, look at how many clicks it got in this LinkedIn group. 153 clicks. So do you see how this works? Do you see how it's almost like the numbers will always match up? It's like, wow, it's not just, oh, I got lucky there. Wow, I got a lot of clicks there. This is just simply a great post. So now you know that is the topic I need to be covering. Make sense? Now, like I said before, this is only step one. Step two is to interact with them. So you want to make sure that you're looking at the comments. You'll notice that on this post here, right? I noticed that it got a lot of clicks. So the first thing that I did when I noticed it was getting comments, I don't know if you could click on that and see the comments. Oh, check that out. You know what? I didn't even know that, guys. You can actually see the comments. But look, I seen Charles and Sherry and Ruth leaving comments. So what did I do? I went in and left a really long but valuable comment, okay? And this is what people want to see, because now you're not just seen as someone who's sharing stuff, right? Just putting stuff out there. You're the person that's there when they say, hey, great post, thanks for sharing. You're right there to respond. And we do that. I mean, Buffer app, I didn't even know it did that. That's awesome. We also get to see who's commenting right from here. That's really killer. And what you want to do is join in on that conversation, because that's what's going to separate you from everyone else. Most people, there might be a lot of people out there that do and teach this stuff. Oh yeah, go automate all your stuff. But then it kind of ends there. This is just step one. This is not even the most important part. The reason we do this is to open the door to these conversations. Because even though only 3 people had commented and said, hey, thanks, Kevin, thanks for sharing, and then I commented to them, even though I'm only in a conversation with those 3 people, which is what most people would think, everyone is looking at that post. everyone is going to that group. They see the post, they click on it, they go look at the discussion, they look at what Charles and Sherry and Ruth said, then they see what I said to respond. Does that make sense? And now everyone is seeing me. Oh, Kevin's a member of this group. Kevin shares valuable stuff. Kevin comes back and leaves even more valuable tips after he shares it. Notice this one right here. Thanks, Kevin, for all the meaningful pages of 5 landing page strategies. They all sound great and unique. Ruth. Who did they thank? I didn't create that post. That post was on unbounce.com. That's not my post. I did not create it. I didn't have to take the time to go and come up with 5 unique landing page strategies. But who were they thanking? They're thanking me. Just like they're going to thank you, not the person that creates the post that you share. They appreciate you and they build up a sense of reciprocity for you. So let's move on. The other tool I wanted to show you is Sway. Sway is SAYY.co. Sway. This tool is actually not even released yet. It's in beta. What you do is you go over to sway.co. You on the homepage is a button that says, opt in or something, register for an invite. You will get that invite within a matter of hours, right? Usually within 24 hours, you'll get that invite. So you get that invite, come in, and I've only used it a little bit, but here's what Sway is. Sway is basically Feedly and Buffer in one, okay? It's Feedly and Buffer in one. So let's come back to share content. Check this out. So when you create your account, you tell them, here's what I'm interested in, right? What are your interests? And then what happens is, look at this. They actually pull in content, okay, based on your likes. But then what they do is as you start to share stuff with your community, right? You could see over here, they tell you, hey, here's the trending keywords for the content that you're sharing right now and that are getting the most interaction. Social media marketing, 17%. Hash, 13%. Tags, 13%. Google Plus, 8.6%. So all the stuff that I just explained in the last section of Buffer, how you got to spot what's trending. These guys just come out and tell you, here's the top topics. Here's the top content, right? So blogs get the most play, or I think that's blogs, right? Yeah, the video is the smallest, and then news is the next one. Look at this. Here's the top sites. Here's your best sources for content. So Viralizers is number 2. HubSpot is number 1. Business2community.com is number 1. Copy Blogger, HubSpot, blog.hubspot, and then eConsultancy. So what you could do is you can come over here, find a bunch of killer content right in the tool, and then you just click on share. Now, up until a couple of days ago, I think until today, I just closed the notification. The scheduling is not that great. That's why I haven't used it much. Because if I go to share, it's going to ask me, do you want to share it on Twitter? Oh, they just added LinkedIn. Cool. So that you could add Facebook, and then you can add LinkedIn if you like. And then it even tells you the hashtags. Now, the podcast this week that I'm putting up for Viralizers is all about hashtags. Start using hashtags. Put a little pound sign in front of every keyword that the article is about. So if this article is going to be about Facebook, all I got to do is put a hashtag or a pound sign in front of the word Facebook with no space. That's it. That's all you have to do extra. But now Facebook, Google Plus, and Twitter all use hashtags. In the podcast, I'm putting it out probably tonight. In the podcast, I explain all the benefits. You can listen to that. I won't waste the time here because you'll probably hear it again. But it's something you want to do. You get more exposure. You get free, you get exposure to people that you're not connected to. This is the most key thing about hashtags. People go to Twitter or Facebook or Google Plus. They search for a keyword for content related to what they're interested in. Google Plus, Facebook, and Twitter will show content based on the hashtag. Okay, so they'll show it based on the hashtag, not based on whether you're connected to that person or not. So it allows you to connect with people and get people into your tribe that you don't have to actively go search for, but that are interested in your topic, and the hashtags are what brings them in. And it's for targeted conversations and all that. So use it. But that's really cool. We can add the hashtag. That's really cool. This is going to be a really killer tool. You can get it for free. But here's why I'm not using it too much is because they have share now. And then they have share later. But all they have right now is in 1 hour or in 2 hours. I guess they just added advanced. But normally if I'm doing this first thing in the morning, or, sometimes I stay up late, so I'll do it at like midnight, 1 in the morning, 1 or 2 hours. That's 2, 3 in the morning. But advanced scheduling, let's see what that is. Okay, so if you upgrade, maybe they added some additional things. I'll have to check it out, guys. A lot of these tools are new. So that's why, and this is still in beta, so that's why we still have to figure it out a little bit. But again, this is where you want to be. This is going to be a really killer tool. Helps you find killer content all in one place. And I really like the analytics. So check this out. I've only shared 5 links. 5 links, okay? 163 clicks, 32 clicks average per link. And then you can see over here, look at how many retweets I've gotten. This is in the past week. I think this is since Monday. You can see 213 retweets. 97 people favorited something that I put out. 198 mentions, which means people mentioned at Kevin Da Silva. And then 888 new followers in a week's time. Now, I'm nowhere as active on Facebook, and that's because a lot of the people that I'm connected to on Facebook are the top gurus, or whatever you want to call them, experts, the Frank Kerns and the Eben Pagans. I'm friends with all those guys on Facebook. So, it's not so much a tribe where it's more like business networking. But over here, that's why I use Twitter a lot more, and you could just see the difference. That's a lot of retweets, even for me, even for the number of followers I have, even for the numbers that I usually get. That is a lot of retweets all in 1 week. And the reason is because I've been putting out so much more content. I realized that, I was really busy and, I was getting to the point where I was screwing up. I was starting to put out only stuff about me or content that I created. And I was like, you know what? That's not what I'm about. But I was doing it because, I wasn't really thinking about it. I was just always working. Now what I've decided to do is I actually use a cool tool. Maybe you guys would like it. There's a tool. It's called Google Keep. I highly suggest using this tool. Again, you do a search in Google for the Google Keep, and it's an extension for Chrome. Won't go into it now, but you open it up, you click on it, you open it up, and it's a bunch of to-do lists. You create to-do lists, and I have it always open behind a window. And it's just it's another window. It's a separate window, and it's always open behind this window. So if I minimize it, it's always there, and boom, I got my to-do list. Here's the things I need to get done today. You could check it off each step as you go through, and it really helps you manage every day. And then what you do is at the end of the day, you uncheck everything so that it's new again. And then when you wake up in the morning, boom, go to Feedly, find 7 posts, share it to Buffer. Step 2, go over here at noon or at 1 o'clock, whatever time is good for you. Go back to, go back to Twitter, look at who's replied, retweeted, respond to every single one of them, thank the retweeters, and so on. So guys, that's about it, okay? I just wanted to show you these killer tools. I know that it could be crazy trying to manage, being active and then replying to everybody, and it could just be really nuts, right? This is how you do it. Trying to stay on top of your market, knowing what's coming, it could just get to be too much, right? This is how you do it. This is how you find the top content in one place. You have to do the work one time, which is what I show you in the Viralizers Mastermind in step 1. We show you how to go find the top blogs and content and subscribe to those RSS feeds. Then you put it into Feedly. This is the next step. Come to Feedly every day, look at what comes in, and once you found the top blogs, you no longer have to waste your time going and look at blogs. You'll see over here I have marketing tests and experiments. I put them into separate folders. This is where you can find, so I have marketing experiments and abtest.com, okay? These are the blogs. Now, what it also does is when you put, when you subscribe to certain blogs, they will actually recommend to you other blogs that are similar. So see this one right here, conversion rate experts. That actually sounds pretty interesting. So what I can do is click on that, okay? And see right here, add to my Feedly. I can click on that and I can add it to my Feedly. Then over here on the left, right, I can choose where I want to put that, right? Which category. So I'll put it in the marketing tests. I'll check that off. I could put it in multiple categories if I want, or I could create a new category. I'll put it in the marketing tests, right? And I'll click on add. And now, boom, I just added another great blog to my marketing tests category. So every time I want to find stuff that's related to marketing tests or split testing or conversion, boom, I come here. Does that make sense? So this is how you add. So once you start to add a few blogs or RSS feeds, it just pretty much goes from there. It gets really easy. You could switch the look if you want the lists. You could do list layout. You could do it square layout, like Pinterest type layout. You could do the full blog post. Okay. Now, whatever you do, don't shortcut this. I know a lot of people. I get the same urges. We all do as human beings. We get the urge that you want to shortcut it, right? Oh, whatever. I'm just going to try not to do that. Fight that urge. And here's the other thing I want to show you. In the Feedly preferences, so you come over here to preferences, okay? And what you want to do is make sure that, let me see, right here, see where it says Mini enabled? Make sure you have yes checked off. Should Feedly Mini tiny sharing toolbar located at the bottom right of your browser be enabled? Make sure you put yes. That's what I was talking about earlier, okay? That's what I was talking about earlier, because what that does is when you go to a blog, it's not showing up for HubSpot. Let's try something like Copyblogger, because I want you to see this, because this is really key when it comes to subscribing to a blog. If I come over here to blog, yeah, for some reason, he always shows up, guys, but it's not showing up today. It's almost see-through. You actually have a hard time actually seeing it. And check this out. You see Copyblogger? Look at how they have the buffer apps. So if you go to Viralizers.com, I have the buffer icon. A lot of people already are using buffer, or if they're not, they will be. Believe me, they will be. As more and more people start to know about buffer, they'll start using the buffer icon on their posts. And what you could do is right from here, you could just send it directly to buffer, which is really powerful. But yeah, guys, for some reason, that's not showing up there. And I apologize. Usually that's always been there, so I've never had to do it that way. But let me come back to Feedly. When you have that, that Feedly, when you have the Feedly Mini enabled, most blogs you go to are going to be there. Okay, and then that's it. This is what you do. These are your blogs, and then that's about it. There's a bunch of cool stuff that you could do that I haven't gotten into, but that's about it. So let me see if there's any questions. Let me see if I can make this bigger. Okay, so thanks, guys. Thanks. All right, awesome. So you guys are liking it. All right, awesome. Awesome. Okay, so Kevin, what is the toolbar on your cursor? Copy, paste. Okay, so that is actually an app for that's actually an app for the Mac. It's called Pop Click. It's called Pop Click. It's this here. Pop Click. It's really cool, right? It's actually a really cool thing. All you have to do is you just highlight some text, and you get this pop-up where you can search Google. You can add it to Evernote. You could tweet it on Twitter, send it by email, copy, paste plus enter. It's really, really awesome. Cut. It's a really cool plugin, but I believe it's for Mac. It might be available for the PC. I'm not sure, but that's what it is. All right, yeah, Irvin, you love using Feedly. I showed Irvin Feedly, and he's been loving it too. All right, guys, if there's anybody else with questions, sorry I actually went up. I went up to 45 minutes. It's Pop Click. The name, Pop Click. Did you get that? Okay. Yep, Pop Click. All right, guys, listen, I apologize. I just wanted to do a quick hangout this week because we said we were going to do it. Next Saturday, we're going to be doing a much better hangout. Much better. What I mean by that is it's going to be a lot more content. We're going to be talking about how to start your own podcast. How to start your own podcast. I know this is something a lot of people want to do. And it's the next step in the Viralizers formula is going to be starting your own podcast. I'm going to walk you through the steps and show you how I'm going to be launching a podcast on for traffic formulas. So how to install the plugins and all that great stuff. But that's about it. Guys, thank you so much for coming. I know this weekend is going to be the holidays are coming up. That's why I was even considering, should I do it? Because we did a survey in another market that I'm in, and we got a lot of feedback where people were like, we're going to be traveling. Could you do it next week? But I just wanted to do this for you guys. And that's it. Guys, have a great 4th of July. Have a great weekend. Enjoy time with your family. And I'll see you next week, and we can get back to working full time, which I'll probably do straight through the holiday, but unlike most. Guys, have a great weekend. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you, Irvin. Andrew, thanks for the questions. Other Andrew, guys, thank you so much. Have a great weekend. Charles, wow, there's a lot of you guys here. Hey, what's up, guys? So, all right, guys, have a great weekend.